So I'll repeat that because it fell, it landed. Bridge wrote, you can't sell anything other than virtue because you've already sold your clientele virtue intact. So you can't speak bluntly like I do, and you can't get your previous clientele off your back, which is your back, intact. So let's just understand, you troping a virtuous line is only because you're more deceptive. You're more manicuring, you're more deceptive to know to manicure an image. So, I've started another video, so I'll recap a little bit of what I was talking about. My internet is spotty at Fairpoint, and I've spent the day, again, trying to understand why they said they were going to have someone call me, and yet it's late in the day and no one called. And I can't remember the jackass that I spoke to over there who sent me to repair center technicians that sent me back to jackass, who eventually hung up on me because rather than telling him like I told the previous people I don't know, was it a week ago? When I'm like, you know what, we paid for your internet service and it's never worked. It's like having a rod rammed up your ass. Click. Okay, well I didn't say that this time, but I'm asking the guy who's telling me that level 2 needs to address my internet problem. And I'm like, what does level 2 do? And he doesn't know. And I'm like, why are you comfortable with not knowing? You know, you handed me off to this number, and that happened last time I called. I got to talk to 5 different people and compartmentalized organizations, fractions at Fairpoint Internet and phone service here in Maine, to no avail. There's no one to talk to, and everyone is comfortably compartmentalized dysfunction. And while they all sit pretty, while I try to find who to talk to resolve my problem, it is a waste of my time and my resources. I get to run up my minutes at the very least, as these jacked-offs sit pretty. Jacked off. So I asked him, I'm like, why is that okay? That you don't know or you don't want to know. He says he doesn't want to know, but you know what? You don't know, okay? You don't put yourself in my position. Your internet service has not worked since we've had it. And that was 1 modem ago and several months ago. And we have checked this twice. I've yesterday on the phone, Matt thought that if I got an Ethernet, it would work better for my computer. I went and got an Ethernet only to find it didn't. So I called back, and whoever I spoke to put this in the notes in the paperwork. They assured me every time I call, updating my notes in the paperwork. The feedback that gives them is that it's not the computer, and it's more than it's their service. And so I was told I was going to get a call today, and no call. So I called them, and I'm told to go call someone else, who tells me to go back and call the first person I called, who hangs up on me because I'm reasoning with him. Can you please produce results with your time when you're sitting there looking prime? Polite. It's not your service. You're falsifying misinformation to sit pretty for no reason and for no revelation. Okay. So, aside from Fairpoint and me trying to coax another upload of a YouTube video so that I could upload the website currently, I have to sit here and watch my network diagnostics lights go out and physically punch in the same code password they gave me, which is not user friendly. I have to punch it in and I have to babysit this. It looks like it goes out about 3 times a minute. Great service. Apparently we've got 5G. Who knew it was that fast when I have to punch in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 letters and numbers 3 times a minute. Who knew? So, what I was doing was diddling, and I googled Rich Road. Okay, but prior to doing that, I checked my free tarot reading, and he seemed to have a lot of anxiety by that. So I asked him, what's up? Because maybe you should have some anxiety, because I've been taking screenshots and putting my own comments with them. So that led on to a dirge of, you're preening. You'll always be a jackass. You know, you get off on me reprimanding you. You're 52 years old. Why don't you grow up? How's that for a revelation? How about you grow up? I know you're convincing in putting your own pants on in the morning and tying your own shoes by yourself. Okay? But that does not make you a man in time. Okay? You simply have commodified a hyphenated GED to look like you passed time, but you can't pack it or unpack it. Okay? I was reading that you have a presentation at the Henry Ford blah blah blah, who gives a fuck. You all speaking to each other, and then you've got some sort of gallery viewing at Cooper Hewitt Museum in New York City. Good job tooting your horn. The reason why I think you will always be a jackass, to your own retort, even if it's silent, because you've not given honest value in the gaps, is quite clearly because I have written on your name for years and you've not followed the straight narrow arrow to be like, oh, I get it. You're still doing the same hyphenated shit. You've just positioned yourself to look like a je t'aime, the love, while you're giving time. Thief and do of. So I've got pictures and updates of yourself, Rich Road, Andy Cruz, pictures of his family, the eye, and Ken Barber. Is it Ken Barber? He's got kids 8 and 11, 9 and 11, whatever. This is a way to make a pretty zero. These things, the Savior, Shehavior, can count on. pick a number at House Industries and home. So not trying to be my own savior in terms of the predecessor who can only fail to show and your time to throw. The throne, the tone, the hone, the roan, and the one. Okay? I was not trying to be a savior, but I am in fact my own save-I-or. And my own shave and have, I-or. Through self-definition of hydrogen. Honestly spoken. One-on-one, to me, as my tomb. T-O-M-E. My T-H-O-M-E. My T-H-C. Honor causes. Tomb, home, come home. To me, T-O-M-E. Novel. Lid, novel, I-D, idea. It might be interesting just to get some fucking money, take everything down off the internet, and disappear. I could live on an island. As long as Minno's there. Come on. Minno and I would have a great time. I might have to school him. Don't eat the snakes. If they're snakes. Definitely don't eat the porcupines. There's not much meat there anyway. It's not worth a mouthful of quills. Don't try and smell the porthole of a skunk. That makes me smell like a skunk for about 6 months. I know that from the last dog. The last dog was not a one-time learner smelling skunk butt either, which is unfortunate. It's alright. Maybe he didn't know it was a skunk sheet. It was in the night, so that was the second time, but shit. Trying to skin a porcupine and eat it over there and call that fair square and query. T-H-E-I-R-D. And you can't bring the date. If you can't bring the date, you can't bring the air. H-E-I-R. Right here. Just saying. That would be my prime advocation. I don't know, you just really fade back into jacked-offness, and I see you coming forward and putting a fucking image. So I grabbed your image with the grizzly goat. That's what I was saying. I got your goat, and you're starting to look like a goat. Okay. Go ad. Well, you're not the only person's goat I got. If that makes you feel better. You're not alone. Anytime any one of you stags want to step up, you will not be competed on here for F-E-A-R-D-. If I don't compete, I can't win a woman's glance. Well, you're not going to be competed on here. For fear, F-E-A-R-D, I do not have fear of what I've learnt in my rear to also feed my vision, going for reward. Jackdaws don't give a fig because they like the formula. They're not actually seeking new experience to define the hem, even vend. Right, Rich wrote? Jackass? Jackass B hyphen S hyphen poke hyphen? You poke any share on. You advocate suing and pursuing with hyphens. And Andy sustains and dying it, defend, to retain. The frame. Hey Chris, if you want to, I'm open if you want to do a interview on my Earth Cam with me. How's that for a date at the Superette? I'm not being a jackass when I invite you, okay? I'm simply trying to advocate for a new way. And I think part of my congestion is hanging out in this rich foray, okay? You know what's kind of funny? I'm kind of getting a consensus that I'm not the only one that feels that way, Rich. You're the congestion. Let's see how we're doing here. YouTube has a great propensity to, unless I'm very animated all the time, where it seems to, it's got one that's picking a thumbnail like this, yeah, and then it's got one like this, and then it's got one like this, there's really, choices, which one? Well, let's see. I've got an idea. I'll put a custom thumbnail. No, it's not that one. I want a different one. That's it. Ah, nice. You can let me know what you think.